Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 2 of the Corporation Clash here on Rewind RL. We're going to be hopping into the second week of the Corporation Clash and getting started with Star Force Gemini, a league that has already seen a few fall. My name is Digital Bacon. Joining me in the caster's booth is Jar of Jam and Jammy Poos, my dude. How are you doing this week?
I am absolutely elated to be finding out who will be representing Gemini Corporation in the next week's Confederation Cup. First, we need to really sift through. Yes, in the Star Force Gemini group, that corporation already said, we don't want Ember, Corax, Colin D. No, these teams are deemed way too weak. They have no mathematical chance of making it into the next week's Confederation Cup. But Savage, Monaco Esports, French Fries, Team Echo Zulu, and Team Vertex are still here and are still trying to prove that they're worth it.
Well, this is actually an interesting one, Jam, because French Fries today had told us that they're forfeiting and out of tonight. So that means they drop. To me, this now becomes Savage looking to gun down that first place. They're going to be looking to get 2 more wins tonight and secure that perfect streak, that perfect start into the Confederation Cup. But the big story is on the other two, AS Monaco and Echo Zulu. They're going to be fighting out for that second spot. And here we're going to be seeing Echo Zulu kick it off for us against Savage. You got to think, looking at this, Savage already taken down AS Monaco. If Echo Zulu can do what some would think is impossible and take down Savage, oh well, this gets even more exciting.
Yeah, Savage are completely unbeaten in Gemini so far, and the only two losses came from their match against AS Monaco, but they still won it 3-2, and they also have dropped 1 game against Team Vertex. And actually, I'm really curious as to what the score was. 3-0. Whoa, that was a slight bit of a roll against Savage, but then Savage came on strong and won 5-2 in the next game. That was game number 3. I'm not sure what is it about that, but just last week we've seen the same thing. The underdogs winning those game 3s, putting everyone on the toes slightly, just slightly. And then, of course, the favorite was just completely smacking the underdogs. Could happen here. Could be a completely different story. Savage are completely informed, it seems. As you mentioned, they've won their series against their direct opponents, Monaco Esports. That is putting them in a position, I think, almost of unreachability on that first spot.
Yep, so looking at this, quickly looking at players, because it will be, I do believe, Louis, Devo, and Ixo tonight. Alpha's not taking part. On the opposite side, we're going to have Impact, Matane, and Tars. Just going to tell the players to join on into the pitch. For me, this all comes down to Tars. We saw him last week, Jam. Echo Zulu with Tars on the pitch has meant they had a super strong defensive side, and that could be the key to get the upset win here.
And Echo Zulu, just this Sunday, were playing in the Kaiser League finals on LAN. Unfortunately, they succumbed to an on-form Empire Esports, who basically swept the whole tournament 4-0, 4-0. But they still at least got into the finals, so an experience in that regard will do them heaps of good against a team as strong as Savage.
Savage already looking to get on with the attack. Ixo just going to let that go past for Devo. Pops it out high. Mitane dropping that down. Looking to get the second touch. Didn't communicate that to Impact. Ixo put that towards the center. Devo to the backboard, and Ixo fortunately going high. Both these two teams really making each other sweat straight out of the gates.
And that's Echo's plan and playstyle for now. Bluey drops it down. Bluey scores. Bluey gets an explosion. The freshest rocket pass, get it now at the low price of 10 keys. But also Bluey, my oh my, what a upside down touch to the net. Savage, I think they will be dominating the air, and soon they will be dominating the whole table as well.
We were talking about playstyles earlier, and drop shots like that. Oh, that is Bluey's through and through. Matane looking to eye up Impact. Impact crossbar down, and oh no. Devo bottles it on the last line, but I'm loving this game so far.
This has started out pretty strong. Bluey, though, guessing this a little bit wrong. He was the really player who would properly clear it from Savage, but he double guessed himself, stayed in the net, couldn't find a proper position, And as a result, Impact had just enough time to put it past everyone, including Devo, who was trying to challenge.
So, nerves from both sides of the pitch. Savage are not impregnable. They can be broken down. Bluey, straight up, easy shots to the net, beckoning him to put it on, and unfortunately, just a little bit too slow. Good block there from Ixo. Impact, big clearance downfield, that buy time for his teammates. Bluey looking for Devo straight away, not going to allow much time at all. Defense already being put into question. Tars going high up the net. Impact follows through, gets the second. Savage, you guys need to wake up. Bluey seemingly the only one alive on that pitch at the moment.
Oh, actually, to me, it seems like Savage is alive as a team right now. It's just that the Echo Zulu, not only are they keeping pace with Savage, and Savage is playing incredibly fast, they are also saying, hey, we can play just a little bit extra faster, and you will guess where we're coming from, how many of us will come. And as a result, Echo Zulu and Impact lives up to his name and really puts one strong at the other end of the field to put Echo Zulu up.
This has been a glorious opening. Bluey with the back pass to Devo. Devo putting a real good hit on. Just etched away. Echo Zulu need to start getting this ball down the opponent's end of the field, because Savage so far have felt the pressure, Jam, and that's where they do leave openings. The problem is when you put them into attack like this, it's scary for Echo Zulu.
Yeah, you watch every single attack by Savage. It is as deadly as it comes. So quick. All three players coming and putting a shot after shot. And Echo Zulu, not always they have the time to react. And those players are not always as confident as they would have liked. At some point, this pressure would just be too much. But the clears so far are great. Impact is doing work on both sides of the field. And those saves by him are crucial for Echo Zulu and their lead.
Oh, it's a good clearance, just getting in there and putting on some dodgy little dodges to get that ball away.
That's how dodges work.
Yeah, they just work. Like, that was a real risky position from him, because he was near enough double committed in positioning to a teammate, but it didn't hurt. He just saw the opportunity, saw the reason behind it, and got it out. You can see already Echo Zulu on the attack, and well, that was a play savage.
Oh, I mean, who is the RLCS team here? Is it Echo Zulu or is it Savage? Because Echo Zulu is really teaching Savage how they need to. All these passes leaving Savage guessing as to where they need to commit their players. And Echo Zulu are just playing it. Everything is just clicking. All the pegs are going down in the right holes. And as a result, those goals just keep coming in, while Savage, despite all of their aggression, just not ending up in the resulting kaboom in the orange net.
Yep, we have to remember though, Jam, that this is a best of 5, and there are still 1.5 minutes in this game. A little bit sloppy in defense from Savage, but they get it out. Bluey, it's a real dangerous hit downfield, and it is met nicely. So straight off, looking for teammates, looks at Bluey, straight back to Ixo, but just wide off the net. It was a beautiful idea, beautiful play, but just missed the mark.
It feels like Savage are really trying to slow down the play enough, not boom it, but take the control of the ball. But many of those times, it seems like the ball just falls off that target slightly. There's another opportunity. Bluey puts it strong in mid-time. Needed to be in the right place, and there he was, off the crossbar and out. And Zulu, now the storm will be at their gates. Mid-time won't be able to save that one, because Ixo straight in the face of defense.
Yeah, lightning bolt just absolutely crashes into that net. Ixo, brilliant little hit to send it wide across goal. One goal now separating these two. Jam, are you thinking this could reach overtime like me?
It is. Now that you said it, it's absolutely possible. We had so many Game 1 overtimes in the tournaments in the past couple of weeks that this might not be the exception. Zulu, though, 30 seconds will be one of the most nervous they had so far. This is not their MCON match, which was this complete steamroll. No, this is Savage. They are alive right now, but seemingly Echo Zulu came in just a little bit strong. We have those 30 seconds have already passed, and Echo Zulu are on the attack, are trying to bring something to the Savages now.
Actually, I don't think so, Jam. This is them just keeping control of the ball. You see how slow that aerial dribble was? This was Echo Zulu actually respecting their opponents in Savage and were just buying time. You know, they were just running out that clock. And that was a clever, clever move. Bluey just said he's restarting the game, maybe a couple of problems there. But Jam, Echo Zulu coming into this game and taking game number 1, I'm thinking that Savage just weren't, they might have been overconfident coming into this, you know? Like they weren't thinking that Echo Zulu were going to turn up tonight.
Yeah, well, have you seen what they've done on Twitter? The fact that they will already set the schedule for all the teams that will be playing them, and the fact that only 15 minutes would be needed to play against French Fries. That overconfidence might get you to great heights, but you know, when all of a sudden you are right up there and you need to crash down to the ground, it hurts so much more than your usual preparations. Echo Zulu just gave the Giants a little bit of a trip, and Savage just came down crashing. Only game number 1. Savage might say, oh, what on earth just happened? Let's shake it off. Let's play like an RLCS team later. But for now, Echo Zulu shown that they can play with the best, and not only play, but win as well.
Yep, so here we go. Savage have to do a Taylor Swift and absolutely just shake off that first game. Come back and smash it a 3-0 for the next. They've got a name. They have the title of RLCS players now on their side, as they've just been qualified up into the RLCS. And so they have to show what that name, what that level, what that caliber of skill really means to these bubble players. Echo Zulu.
Oh my goodness. If only that was on target, that would be the best pinch I've ever seen. So much power in Savage, despite having the defender over there. I'm not sure if they will be able to get it. Bluey though, oh, finds one, almost finds one. It was free. Echo Zulu drops on it, and precision once again betrays Savage. It was their problem in the previous game, and also their slight indecision going for the shots that Echo Zulu were setting up that really lost in the previous game. And right now it's continuous. Look at that, how well they're approaching Mitan. Tries to pass it, almost gets it passed. Again, waits for another one. He's just there waiting, not going for any weird shots. Echo Zulu are really spacing themselves well in that attack.
I will say here though, looking at Ixo, you know, their sub, he is a good fit on the pitch to replace Alpha. He's very much just fallen back into that third man role, and that is some good automatic synergy, especially this synergy.
Well, that's Bluey, really. Savage is, in many ways, it's Bluey's team, and he's feeling like fish in the water, not out of it. Just passing himself. Echo Zulu not expecting such pace from one player, but he's just Ronaldo. Goes in, dribbles everyone out. Oh, I'm assuming that's Ronaldinho, actually. But they all can do that, I'm pretty sure. Savage bring this one out strong in game number 2, getting the first goal, and also looking pretty strong on the field as well. Their attacks seemingly have a little bit more form. Oh, and that was a big no-no for Echo Zulu.
It was indeed. Players just pushed out. You could see Tars dropping it from the sky when he really wanted to rotate back to net. That's an awkward one, Jam. I'm not going to hold it against him. It's only 2 goals. Echo Zulu showed such promise in game number 1, but I do think that loss in game number 1 is what really woke Savage up. And we could see the beast now, you know, finally out of the cave.
Yep, it's the... Oh, and there's a demolition. He tries to show a bit of teeth over there. But yes, seemingly you don't want to make Savage angry because you won't like them when they're angry. And right now they are playing, they are already in game number 1, they were playing so fast. And right now it's the same speed, but also so much more precision. As Echo Zulu tries to recuperate themselves, gather themselves, and set up a couple of plays. Again, the team doesn't have to completely fall apart just because they conceded 2 goals. If they play the same play style right now, I think they're trying to revert exactly to that Mitan. Oh,
good recovery from Bluey.
Great bump, great return in defense from Bluey back in the rotations.
The big difference here, Jam, is that Savage aren't allowing Echo Zulu to get close to the net. You'll notice they're having to put on longer shots and aerial dribbles to get down towards that blue net. Then Savage aren't allowing, so that's why Echo Zulu put that bump play, which looked so good. But then Bluey was in a great place to rotate back and get the save. Savage have upped their level.
Their defense has been tightened up, and also their offense is some wonders. Devo, I don't think he wanted to play that off Mitan.
Oh no, that was a force play, dude.
Ooh, all right. succumb to you then. From my angle, it almost felt like he was playing it off the wall. Instead, well, a setup in the center field and almost a kickoff attempt by Divas. He just plunges through all of the players of Echo Zulu. Will it be another one equal to himself? Can he do a bluey? Well, he can do a bluey, but that was pretty promising.
Yeah, this is awkward above the orange Echo Zulu net. 2 minutes 15 remaining. They've got to find 3 goals to tie this up and then put us into a potential overtime. Good little passing plays between Impact and Tars. Retain on back. It's an awkward bounce, but Tars does get a good clear, but it's down center. And Jam, you don't ever want to be clearing that ball down center because your opponents get straight onto it like that.
Yeah, where else would your opponents be but down the center? Savage knows how to position themselves well, especially when they're trying to set up the play just like that in the center when they have the best angle at a shot. So for Savage, you're doing the work for them, putting up a clear so easily down the center where everyone from that rotation can get in on action.
Move back pass, finds Ixo. Devo's got to climb the ladders, but Impact's up there already. Retain, good block. We'll have to follow this around. He needs a teammate to set it up on. There is Tars. There's his teammate. 1 minute. It's possible.
Oh, and Savage are being given so much space on the other side of the field. Echo Zulu need to work with scraps, but they do it so well. God knows how long. And yet, when they get up there with whatever scraps of boost that they have, they get the job done.
Quick counters always just completely...
that was almost...
Good control for the dodge. But yeah, quick counters always dismantle Savage because they do overcommit quite a bit down pitch, don't they, Jack?
Yeah, because they're committing so hard in the offense, trying to overload the defense of their opponents. Their defense suffers as a result. Oh, Taz wanted to have his cake and eat it too, but couldn't exactly get it as a defender and also demolish it or get a bump for the another Echo Zulu players to come in. But those passes, oh, I'm loving it.
Okay, Echo Zulu did fall off due to the pressure of Savage, but now they're putting a whole different kind of pressure. Real hard hits being put on. Oh, this is not good defense. No boost on them. Tars is going to be able to put this off to the side and comes back with a second hit. Going to try and pinch this with Matane, but 2 players on the ball is not the answer there. They're being pressured right to that back line. Matane into Ixo, he drops that down perfectly for Bluey, but Impact gets it away. A nice little pop, but Bluey will just be able to easily control this away. Savage are pressuring the defense so well. When it comes back to their line, they've got enough space, they've got enough time, they've got enough boost to hold everything away.
And for Savage, that little scramble in the defense where all of the players did the goal coming in as Bluey really putting a solid point at the end of the game. That was pretty much all Savage. But Savage could have gotten, I think, a goal much earlier than that. We're all in one big pile of players, all 3 of them without boosts, swatting at the ball but never being able to clear it. The result is still theirs, but they could use that opportunity, and Echo Zulu came out of that a little bit bruised, but still alive.
One thing I'm going to point out here, Jam, is the difference between Savage this week and last. Notice how Savage aren't going for like freestyle or fancy goals. They're going super hard, super solid, super pressured. And that is because they know the damage that Echo Zulu can do if you just do not pay them the respect. Savage here are having to go to a whole different game, which for me, looking towards RLCX next season, this is promising, because that has always been one problem that I've had with Savage, is that they go a little bit too fancy and they don't focus on that defense. They don't take it seriously, but this is a different side of them and I'm loving it.
Yeah, the adaptability will really help them out, and really at no point in RLCS will you be able to freestyle on anyone, especially coming in from the RLRS. They need to prove themselves out there, and I'm pretty sure everyone will just pointing their fingers and laughing if all of a sudden in the middle of the game again Team Dignitas or Wit and Girls or whatever organization will pick Wit and Girls for the next season. Someone has to, clearly. But if Savage goes freestyling against them, I'm pretty sure it will be all tears and no laughter for them.
Yeah, I actually heard a good rumor the other day that Norg has already picked them up, Jam. So, not to be announced yet. Of course, you know, in the world of Rocket League, it can take a little while for those announcements come through. You've got to get all the graphics, all the shirts, all the media done. But everything was looking good for those lads. But here, in the Renegade Cup, it's all about the RLRS and Bubble teams, the next champions, the Dreamers. That's why we called it Neon Dream. Bluey, downfield, met by Tars, looking for impact, looking for the pass back, but unfortunately not going to be. Does buy time to allow the rotations back, but Bluey is so fast. You've got to be careful with giving any time because they will gobble it up. Bluey looking for the back pass, looking for Devo. It's a bit high, and Mitane is going to try and punish that. Tried to put it across the net, but unfortunately no goal found.
Yeah, he was also, I think, going for a Doomsday dish, but failed to do that as well. Echo Zulu, though, are bringing the ball across the net pretty often. They're not playing as high as they perhaps would have wanted, but they're just not taking the risk there and putting that second player up front who can play on that pass just so their defense plays well. Bluey! I mean, Bluey doesn't know anyone. He just does it all himself. Plays off the backboard, fine. Plays off the ground, sure. A great setup by Devo, and the rest of the defense of Echo Zulu is gone.
That goal looks like it's open. Like, it's nothing fancy. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's unexpected, which makes it brilliant to see. Ixo hitting it against the wall, looking to eye up Devo, and does find him. Ixo needs, well, just goes for the steal of the boost. Savage mixing up strategies here with the boost steal will be interesting. A good clear from Bluey finds Ixo. That's a dangerous one, but wide from net. Tars can't get onto it. Devo just puts it up high. And this is one thing which I always love about Devo, how he can just take that ball vertically up and just near enough buy time that way whilst giving up no position.
Yeah, well, he is a consummate professional, and by this point, I think this is a part of a strategy. You need to kill a little bit of time to wait for your teammates to arrive. Perfect. Let's just have Devo put that straight up, and passes are still working out so well for Savage. There's always someone waiting for a pass in the midfield, and someone is always setting them up from the flank. Oh, Echo Zulu needs to be minding their defense, though. They can't leave it as open, especially for someone like Savage.
Devo does get the block there, only put the ball off to the side. It's good enough, though. Tars getting blocked there as well, putting on a bit of pressure, and notice how this game has now become all about the defense, Jam. The attacks finally make it on through, and this was more unexpected. What an absolute belter from Blue, but this pass from Devo is what set it up.
This has been great, but unfortunately before the pass from Devo came, the clear from Impact came. That's not the first time Echo Zulu are just gifting the ball to Savage by getting a touch on it for the sake of getting a touch on it, but not getting a powerful clear. Instead, it's one player committing, bam, out of the play already. The rest are also trying to act in that play, and instead get themselves in a horrible no-good position. Bluey, what are you doing? Going for a third one. He's already up to 6 goals in the series, and he's hungry for more. While Echo Zulu are just struggling to get into the attack, there's almost no chance of Mitane Impact in front of a net, and Taz is coming in, but all it takes is just one Devo placing himself strong on the ground and saying, one buck.
This day is definitely feeling like Bluey's day with the amount of work he's been putting on. Great little block from him. The 50-50 sends it off for Devo, and he's back onto the ball, chasing it downfield. Can't keep a hold of it. Don't get me wrong, it's an ambitious attempt. Tars goes for the second hit, does find Devo, who reads it so well up into the air from Impact, straight down. Devo will try and dribble it away, and we know what he can do with that ball. Tars straight past Bluey, but Ixo holds the back line, holds the defense, just holds everything away. The attack now is starting to look a little bit scrambled from Echo Zulu as they're coming down to the 1 minute mark with 2 goals to find. And they're getting very few chances to get the ball down their opponent's end of the pitch.
Yeah, and even every single time they're in there, there's an opportunity, but defense is in there. Impact on being able to disrupt the defenders of Savage coming in. Even when Echo Zulu are in front of the net, even when there's like 3 of them straight in that little spot in front of net, they can't get it through because they're all in such scrambly positions that it's almost impossible for them to get anything. And then by that point, when Echo Zulu are completely lost the momentum in front of net, that's where Savage comes in, cleans up, and then starts a very dangerous counterattack to get away.
Louis with the clearance, and he'll follow this down. Yeah, hucks that ball against the wall. Impact. It hasn't diverted any danger. Those claws need to sharpen him. Again, look at this. All 3 players in the same spacing. I'm looking at this jam and I'm going, this is them now sort of desperate. They've tried everything and it's not working, and now it's just coming down to frustration.
Yeah, it exactly looks like that when you see players crossing paths, going for the same position on the field. They know that that timer's clock ticking down in their head, and they think, oh my god, we need to do something, we need to do something, we need to do something. By that point, really, all the resemblance of a team play completely disappears, and we have 3 individual players all going for the same ball, for the same positions. Someone needs to stump their foot down and say, stop. Come back from this situation just a little bit. Think what we need to do in the next game. And right now, it is, God, you have perfect passing plays, and you also have great counterattacks. You know that you can sting Savage when it hurts the most. It's just that be slightly more risky. By this point, your opponents are a match point. Get those players up the field. You can no longer have one player going on the wall, bringing the ball across the net, but then no one going for it. No, you need the players up there. If not, just set up passing plays. Bring the players slightly deeper, but still on the ball. Because if EchoZilla will just be trying to push it forcefully, I don't think in that big pile up of cards, they will be able to push the ball through into the Savage net. I don't think that works. Really, no team has made a name for themselves just by pushing the ball through like that.
Well, not since like season 1 of Rocket League anyway. It's an outdated strategy. I mean, it does work every now and then, don't get me wrong on that one, but it's not something you can just keep forcing. And speaking about this, we're now forced into a real bad situation for EchoZilla, who started off with the win in game 1, but here coming into game number 4, Savage are in the lead. The tables are turned, and Savage are our match point. They keep going like they have, especially with a net in front beckoning, and Bluey, oh, he lives up to it. Press F in chat.
I'm just not going to say anything. It's a minute of silence for Mikain. For the ball immediately while Blue had control of it, most likely completely wrong idea. Blue without play, going into the net and trying to defend it, perhaps slightly better idea, but when Bluey feels Savage, he does the Savage things, and that bump was absolutely different.
With only a few seconds, if you're EchoZilla, you can just think there, okay, that gives us more time to come back. Impact bouncing around the walls, and Tars looks to hunt it down with big clearance to the corner, trying to buy ground for his teammates. Ball into the middle, Matane goes wide, Ixo jumping across, will look to pitch this up, and does. Bluey, just with a perfect flying, gets the hit to block it away, but this, Devo? Get out of here with those.
He won't, he absolutely won't. No, he'll make it. Oh! Such a great position, Matan and Taz finding themselves in position where Savage are immediately thinking about the attack, but EchoZilla with a well-won 50-50 can still get a drop down from above. Impact brings it out of the net. It will be teetering on the line, but that was EchoZilla's best chance so far. They're still trying to get some control of that ball. They're still up there. There will be players to challenge it. Oh, unfortunately, only Savage players are right there on the ball. Savage has been faster on those challenges pretty much the whole day.
They have indeed just beaten every setup by EchoZilla. It's feeling unfair, almost bullying by Savage, that EchoZilla don't seem to be able to get anything working, and when they have had an open net in front of them, it's been blocked by a sweeping in player. Impact finds Tars. Mitane going for the bump, and it just didn't work once again. I don't know how he did it. Ixo weathered the storm. Did get demoed in the end, but he made the all-important save.
It was the perfect opportunity. Devo and Bluey went too hard. Devo with his aerial dribble, Bluey trying to follow up. EchoZilla stole the ball from them on the wall and started an attack. But when you can score with 3 players going against just one, means either your plan is really flawed or the defender is absolutely godlike. And Ixo dies in his defense, but still will be remembered fondly by the Savage fans.
Bluey popping the ball up, buying time, and Devo will clear that straight down to Bluey. That's a transition and a half.
Well, that's 2 transitions, I have to say. From here, straight to here, gets the contact in the middle of the field, and the perfect redirect, as perfect as they come. Savage, not as quick to those goals as in previous games, but I think the statement is still being made. You got one of us. That's all we're gonna allow you. We just can't. You can't play with us. We're just too cool for you. And too cool for school as well. Savage 2-0, and really the prospects for Echo Zulu. Chances were up front, but it doesn't seem like they will be able to win it on skill alone. Really big dose of luck needs to come into this one, and for Echo Zulu, again, not being so desperate to score those goals.
Blocked out by Impact. Mid-tame sending this ball downfield. Impact wanting to send it further. 2 goals now needed to stay alive and send this to overtime, and then a third to go into game number 5. Mid-tame deciding that an aerial dribble is the route to net. Gets into the backboard, and Blue will clear away. Tars found by Ixo, who's now got so much time to work with. Look at this. No boost, so he's just controlling it with the wall and allowing his teammates to rotate into positions to continue this pressure. The miss from Devo will be fine for now, as Tars needs Mid-tame to come in. Ixo above the net. Damn, but 3 players in defense, 3 players in the net is just a solid war if I've ever seen one.
Oh, that wall just continues doing the best saves ever. Blue and Diva on the line. Ixo helping them out. Echo Zulu are just got 3 great shots in a row. But Savage has got 3 even better saves in a row as well. It is unbreakable. When the defense works like that against you, the despair will start to set in, just like in the previous games. Seemingly, Echo Zulu are at to wit's end. They are ready, sort of thinking, oh my god, we can't. How could we possibly? It's Savage. They're unbeatable. What on earth can we do?
And to be honest, Jam, I cannot give you the answer. It looks over pretty much here with the 3rd goal coming in from Ixo.
Did you see what Bluey just did? I don't think an answer is needed, really, because it's useless. It's a rhetorical question. What can Echo Zulu do? Just admit, just accept the fact that they have been beaten square and fair. Devo adds up to his. I think Savage. Remember how we said Savage can't possibly start freestyling? I think at some point, because Ixo just did a little bit of freestyling. There we go. 23 because they know this is done and dusted. Savage. That's their 6th win, if you count the counted win against Colin D. And actually, how many more are there left? Will they go out of this one with 7-0? Give me a second. Yeah, actually, I think they will, because it's win in this game against Echo Zulu, 3-1, and bravo to Echo Zulu for taking even 1 game against the Savage. In fact, as savage as they are right now. Then round 6 game against Colin D is already forfeit in favor of Savage, as Colin D has forfeited the remainder of their games in their Gemini side of things. And of course, we have received information earlier that French Fries and what else in Group Broad won't be able to play today, and as a result, Savage, that's a 7-0. It's a clean-cut 7-0. Nobody could stop the new RLCS team.
Just, wow, the first team to confirm the 7-0, the perfect stage. They are definitely living the dream and will take the top spot going in to next week's Confederation Cup Finals. They take the first seed from Star Force Gemini, and well, they're going to be absolutely loving it. Jam, Echo Zulu, not out of it yet. They're still fighting up against AS Monaco, but this fight has just got a little bit harder for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, and unfortunately for Team Echo Zulu, I'm pretty sure they have already played against them. I'm currently looking at the score. Yeah, Monaco has won 3-0 against Team Echo Zulu back in week number 1. That was round 1 game. So Team Echo Zulu won't be having that one extra lifeline that they were really wished for in their battle for the 2nd spot, the only spot remaining in the Star Force Gemini Corporation side of the Corporation Clash. So but still, a chance is there. French Fries are not playing today, so they are out. Team Vertex is the only other team currently competing from that spot with the Echo Zulu. AS Monaco will be the big gatekeeper, stopping those two teams from making it through to the next week.
So that is us done here with Savage. Is unfortunately they don't have a tale to tell for another week now. We're going to be hopping on over to the Leo Enforcers. We're going to be seeing Getafe Esports versus Epsilon. Jam, that's going to be an absolute brilliant game because we actually have a free sort of horse race going on there between Getafe, Epsilon, and Nordavin. So guys, don't go anywhere. We're throwing this on over to a break, and we shall see you after this.
Fragments of time lay dormant in my mind, and what's left behind is a journal signed. Pieces of hope are written on paper of familiar sight. A certain skyscraper. Fragments of time lay dormant in my mind, and what's left behind is a journal signed. Pieces of hope are written on paper of familiar
must have been here some point in the past. Familiar shapes and sounds at last. The smoke and lights, the crowds amassed. The moon behind skies overcast. I must have been here some point in the past. Familiar shapes and sounds at last. The smoke and lights, the crowds amassed. The moon behind skies overcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're flipping and flopping on over to the Leo Enforcers here for Getafe Esports versus Team Epsilon. I'm Digital Bacon, joined by the Jar of the Many Jams. And Jammy, dude, this is going to be such a good match. Like, I am so hyped for this. This is really cool what we're going to be able to see here.
Yeah, the Leo Corporation, Leo Enforcers Corporation, has found themselves seemingly 3 teams that will be really fighting for that top spot. Unfortunately, there are only 2 spots, which makes it even more interesting. Epsilon Esports, Getafe Esports, and Nordevent are all with 4 games won. Basically, they together, all 3 of them have completely erased the bottom side.
Jam, sorry, I'm going to quickly correct you there. So
I'm listening.
It's 5-0 at the moment, because remember, we're into round 6 now we missed round 5.
Oh, absolutely.
For these guys.
Yeah,
so
it's currently me to refresh the page, actually.
yeah. So it's currently 5-0 for Epsilon Getafe. Nordavind are sitting 5-1. I'm just currently looking. Who on earth did Nordavind lose to? Getafe. Okay.
Wow.
This has just got a little bit spicier, my dude.
I mean, it was already like 5 chilies. This has pumped it up all the way to 8.
We're throwing an extra ghost pepper in. I think that's what we're currently on here.
Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of acid burn here, and I'm not even eating any of those. Wow. So yeah, Leo Corporation already by the round 6 is down to only 3 teams because they basically wiped each other out. But unfortunately, or luckily for them, it's hard to tell. Now they will be playing each other in those games. Nordavind already played against Getafe. Now it's Epsilon's turn against Getafe, and then Nordavind will be playing against Epsilon in the final game today. We're hoping to get that on your screens later on. So it's the potential winners all playing against each other, teams of the highest of the calibers. And now comes the real test, because previously they've only played against the lower seeded teams. Now the real medal test begins.
So looking at this quickly now, because the last match that is going to be on stream will be Nordavind versus Epsilon. So Jam, looking at this, Getafe beat Epsilon here. They're through. They're top 2, secured, you know, into next week. So this is more of like a big one for Epsilon, who could just completely turn that around here. So this is looking like a very interesting group. So without ado, I am going to just quickly tell the players that they can join onto the pitch whilst we quickly run through this roster. We've got Mark Bay, Mr. Oob, and Nachatao on Getafe. And then for Epsilon, we've got Bilbo, Cheerio, and Sebadam. Cheerio, of course, not retiring after he said after the G50 finals, and good of him, because I cannot wait to see what he can do on this pitch.
I mean, was it just a day of saying silly things?
In the moment. A little bit upset. It happens.
It could have been. It could have been. Nachito, though. Oh, if only he could goal on that attempt, as Mark Wade and the rest of Getafe are trying to play. Actually, a setup. Oh, that's a back pass. Gone sour for Getafe. That was a little bit too strong for Mark Wade. I think it was actually dropped onto it by Cheerio or someone bumping in from Epsilon's side. But a goal is the goal, and Epsilon starts out strong after Getafe can convert their second chance.
Yeah, Bilbo is just in the right place at the right time, and he is not going to question anything about that. Nachatao up high, clearing that down, met by Bilbo. That's a strong 50-50 actually. Mark Way got a little bit of a touch on it as well. And Bilbo, he is just not letting off at the start here. Just pressure, pressure, pressure. I don't mind it at all as Sebdam gets that up to midfield. Mr. Oob looking for the second touch. Not going to be found. This is quite dangerous down to the Epsilon side. They do get clearance, finds Bilbo, pops that towards the centre, just basically trying to put on a bit of pressure and make Getafe a little bit scared, I feel.
I mean, I think they're already scared, but Getafe are trying to set up the plays of their own, and they're creeping closer and closer, trying to fight somebody. But so far, all they're finding are Epsilon defenders getting in the way of any passes that Getafe are trying to set up, reading them perfectly. As a result, Getafe have to leave the attack once again without nothing to their name, bar maybe one shot. As another attack by Epsilon comes and goes, there's still threat from the other side.
Yeah, I absolutely hate it when you get that jam. You know, you're just there trying to put shots on net, and there's an Epsilon defender. You're just like, oh, I can't do this now. Like,
they spoiled, absolutely ruined.
Unfair, really. As the Epsilon attack is now putting things together. Mark Bay beaten by Cheerio, the pop out. Bilbo, I'm liking that. You can see he kept back. He really wanted to go into the attack, and this has been one of the problems with Epsilon in the past, is that uncertainty. But now they're starting to make those decisive decisions a lot better. And it's been a great start to the match for them.
This what maybe saved them from the goal attack, but keeping themselves a little bit more reserved defense helped him to set himself in a position not overextend immediately. That one goal lead is so precious. They really need to be holding it very, very tight to themselves, but also thinking about something maybe in the attack, carefully trying to probe the Getafe's defense. Really, shot-wise, this has been a very slow game. Majority of the game is being spent. Oh, and that's an open net. Nashito gets bumped by Cheerio, I believe. But as another pass comes in, another save comes in response from Epsilon. And And Getafe are turning up the heat under Epsilon. So far, they're faring pretty well.
Oh yeah, this is only a 1-goal game so far. We have been bigging up Epsilon. Getafe just been doing that subtle, quiet work. They've just been keeping that attack away. And they have been getting the ball down the opposite end of the field, just not as convincingly, I feel. But that can all change with one good attack. Will be picked up by Bilbo as he sends that right down to the back lines. Epsilon clearly just happy with the way of things at the moment.
Yeah, they will be okay, although again, just with that lead, you can at no point relax. I think that it's a done deal. It's still 2 minutes of hard work. Right now, work needed to be done. Getafe really, they're bringing the ball to the other side of the field, but seemingly never getting into a position where they can even take a shot, let alone get a goal. And Demolition completely crosses out any chance for Nax to get back and saving that shot as Epsilon just brute forced themselves through the midline of Getafe.
We saw a play like this earlier from Bluey, but that was all Bluey. This is a team through and through. Chiro popping that up to Zebedam, and then he just goes hunting. And well, they have been rewarded with a mighty bounty on a second goal. Epsilon now in a little bit safer a spot. They could just stall out the rest of this game number one.
They really have not been allowing Getafe to do anything in front of their own net. It's not the most solid of the places. Bilbo currently loses the ball completely. But Getafe, look at that. That one mistake, they couldn't use it. They rushed to the ball, boomed it straight down where Epsilon easily cleared to the other side of the field. And Getafe is perhaps the only chance of really getting close in this game. Goes missing. They are still with that 0 to their name in the overall score sheet for this game.
Zebedam popping it off to the wall. He's wanting to chase onto it and gets that towards Mill, but marked by 8 is there. Nachitao steals the boost and then goes hunting for a demo himself. We saw how it worked earlier. The bump by Mark hasn't quite worked yet though. Nachitao did get a demo on Chiro. It's needed once again, but Bilbo can just keep away all this threat, put it down the opponent's end of the field, and you'll notice how Epsilon straight away jump onto that midfield line and just take up all the space. They're covering all the angles.
And their defense is playing so very deep that Getafe are with no chance of starting the counterattack or getting some sort of a 2-3 advantage. It's impossible because Epsilon is always at home. That one may be one last opportunity for Getafe to bring the ball in, but they're still there, and Nachitao goes way too slow for Bilbo. Not just sneaking in, flying in as a jet, taking the ball off Nachitao, not allowing Getafe to even get another shot. Only 3 shots in the end for Getafe. That's not what they want to go with into the next game. They need many more opportunities because Epsilon will be bringing out all of the firepower, and this goal will continue coming in. Seemingly, though, Epsilon and Getafe pretty evenly matched, but where Epsilon bloomed in the attack and got the job done in the end, finishing was much better for them. Getafe just always fell down right before the finishing line.
So, looking at this one, I think Getafe, we don't have to worry too much, Jam. Like, they have got enough in there, enough potential, so much skill. Can you remember Nachtal Babies from the Rocket Baguette Grand Prix? Like, the team, basically, the base of this side. And I'm just seeing it again here. This was just a controlled game by Epsilon. Getafe, they just need to create a couple of opportunities, maybe throw in a couple of demos. We did see Nachtal try and pull them off in that last game. It just was to no sort of like reward at all. They've just got to try and break down what Epsilon doing, make a hole in those rotations, and then they will be able to just break a goal wide open.
It is a certain opportunity for them. Demolitions is not exactly the name of the game, but Getafe sure know how to use it. Unfortunately, so does Epsilon, so it can definitely go both ways, as Getafe are just doing a little bit of shuffle, waiting for their teammate Nachitao. Maybe Nachitao's baby was screaming and he had to leave.
Actually, it says lost connection, which is the first time I've ever actually seen that. Yeah, actually just lost connection. Well, he'll be able to hop back into the server, it's fine. As long as these lads on Getafe just keep doing the Rocket League rain dance, we'll be okay, as Nachtal rejoins the lobby and we'll be getting underway here. The Rains down in Africa, they have brought us a splendor of a player back. Let's get on with this jam. Game number 2, Urban Central, who absolutely love this pitch. The favorite one from back on Sarp. And already getting into the attack. Epsilon as they pull off a brilliant little goal.
Getafe can't possibly allow so much space for their opponents. Like right here, everyone's reacting to be hit off the backboard, but nobody's challenging it. How? How on earth can you not expect the team, your opponents, being close to it, at the very least challenge it? Nope, nobody was looking. Everyone with their backs to it, even with the ball cam, no chance of saving it. Getafe just gave Epsilon a soft one, and Epsilon took it.
30 seconds already in. A goal to Epsilon as they want to continue where they left off. This is definitely a dangerous game, because you gotta think, if Epsilon can just hold this up like they did in the last game, they're going to be able to go on to match point and then have a good look in to really, really hammer home that top of the league, top of Leo and Force's victory and go into the Confederation Cup next week super strong. But that's all speculation here, Jam. 4 minutes remaining. Getafe, they do have a lot of the ground at the moment, which is a promising sign for me.
They're getting, at least they're getting in the opponent's half. Unfortunately, they're getting the cards in there, but not exactly the possession. So unless they can pull off a really great pass from within deep their own half straight to some straggler up front, I don't think they're breaking the defense of Epsilon anytime soon. As you can see, the Epsilon, well, they haven't learned a lesson. They just continue showing out the same strategy throughout. Their defense plays very, very deep. They're not giving any chances for Getafe to start a counterattack. And this also works both ways, because Epsilon can then start a very solid attack whenever they get the control of the ball themselves.
Mr. Oob not going to be able to block that one. Nachital off to the side. Marpe, good block to keep control. And this is promising again from Getafe. They're doing a lot better control of the ball, aren't they, Jam, here, where they're just keeping it to themselves and not really giving Epsilon many opportunities to set up an attack. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's see how it goes. Marpe not going to be able to pick that up. Bilbo towards the center, not found by Sebadam. That's cleared. Marpe on the counter, on the charge. Mr. Oob towards the center, but Marpe with no boost is unable to make it convincing. Nachital up into the air. Chirio's in a very awkward position, but that's a fantastic hit from Marpe. He gets the equalizer, and this reactions of a god.
That was pristine. Another extra touch. I do believe that was Bilbo or Chirio in the air. That was set up the shot for Getafe. Otherwise, I think it would be another lost opportunity for them. But the well played in the air, making sure that the ball drops down. Mr. Ube was there manning the offense right in the skies, and of course marked by 8 with his ungodly reactions, making sure that it's a tie game. Epsilon were shaken up just a little bit. Taylor Swift making another reappearance over here, Urban Central. But for Getafe, it's still many questions. One of them has been answered. Why you just do a quick 1-2 play from your own half, and a straight boomer from Mr. Ube splits Epsilon's defense in half. Nobody able to reach them.
You say no longer any questions, and I'm there like, no, that like, you know, questions getting answered, you said. But
just one.
I've got another question, and that is simply how? Like, that shot, just damn, son, how you get that on? Just amazing, really, to me. Sebadam, straight downfield, Chirio onto it. Well, he is putting a lot of pressure on Marpe straight down center. Bilbo, I thought he was getting a little bit closer and would be able to get onto it, but Sebadam with so much control. Oh, damn.
That much control is illegal. First of all, wins that 50-50, bounces it straight down off the player, then a read. That's a read to stop all reads. That ball wasn't going back at him strong, no, but he still gets just enough, because the follow-up from Mark Bate was almost impossible. He was returning back to the net, not being able to do anything from that situation. Well, Sebadam, oh, it's his field, it's his playground. He is currently building all the castles. playing with all the cards, I suppose.
You didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, I lost myself immediately.
It's fine. I lost myself after that Sebadan goal, to be honest, because holy moly. Cheerio tried to be a bit nuts himself. Unfortunately, nothing found there. The bag is empty. Bilbo is going wide of that, but this pressure that the lads of Epsilon are putting on is impressive. Getafe, though, handling it well. They just got to put a bit of pressure off their own arm. Ball going wide across the net. Nachital dealing with it very nicely. Bilbo climbs the ladder and puts that ball straight down in the middle. Buys a lot of time for Sebadam and Chiro to rotate in, and this is exhibit A of that. Sebadam was able to get straight onto it. Bilbo's work, I'm loving it here. Jam of how he's just in his opponent's half of the field. He does not go back to his own side. Well, he does, but I mean, that is not his focus. It's purely the put on the attack and then the stall for his teammates to get onto the ball and reform themselves.
Yeah, it's either stall, or roam, and then for Epsilon with their 2 players in defense, they have a target up the field to pass to. But this is looking like a very first overtime they can. Nobody want to keep that alive. Ubedo sends it straight on the other side. No, this will indeed be the first overtime. And Getafe, well, they put a couple of a couple of sticks in the spokes of Epsilon's wheels, as those 2 goals did not allow Epsilon to run away with it, get a clean one going. And for Epsilon, for Getafe right now, this opportunity to steal it off Epsilon, who just couldn't convert it in the regulation time. Getafe has all the means to do so, perhaps not as slow though, as Epsilon is back in the defense. We praise their solid 3-man approach to defense in the game number 1. But just like that, he will completely bring them down, because that was horrendous. With all those players up there, with that double commit didn't need to happen at all, as Chiri wasted everything to get back to the ball. It was just a little bit too few, too late.
Yep, it is super unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles. 1 apiece here, Jam, and this is a game that has all the makings of a game number 5, I think.
I cannot disagree with you, Bacon, over there, because Epsilon and Getafe currently both on 5 wins. You know that both of them want this oh so badly. So, and seemingly seeing how well matched they are against each other, that their playstyles, I can't say exactly that one of the teams is exactly dominating with a playstyle. This is not Savage completely steamrolling over their opponents. Now it's Getafe and Epsilon, they're butting their heads, and as a result, nobody's moving an inch. And we're already in a tight situation in this series.
Yep, tight situation indeed, as we just got confirmed. There's going to be a little bit of a rescheduling, and Epsilon will stick on stream for Nordvin next. So there's got to be so much momentum to carry on through these games, because Nordvin have finished. You know, they're just waiting for Epsilon into the next game. So Epsilon have got to be looking at this going, we have to carry on over. We've got to win here and then keep that morale chugging on. It's a big game, this, because this sets the tone for everything tonight for these 2 teams.
Yeah, if Getafe win this, bam, they have qualified, and then Epsilon need to fight yet another gatekeeper in Nordavind, who themselves want to qualify, because Nordavind playing against 2B Honiest right now, and I do believe 2B Honiest still are not participating in the tournament right now, so that will be a win for Nordavind. And then Getafe are playing against something which hasn't exactly been able to show their strength in tournament. So as a result, it's this game and the next game. It's all teetering on the line, and well, if you have tuned in to Rewind Gaming, this is the best Rocket League action you will see all evening, maybe all week.
Could be indeed. I have no doubts about it until next week, of course, when the Confederation Cup hits, and then that's going to be even better. The best of the month, I say. Nachital down middle. Cheerio meets it well. Mr. Ooh, great prediction there, placing himself up on the wall. Nachital. I'm liking this control from him. I'm liking that demo from Mr. Ubon to Sebadam even more, to create that avenue down the field. Jams that they can just basically chase onto this. And look, Getafe hold the midfield line. This is not what Epsilon want right now, because they struggle in these situations. They have done a nice little passing play here downfield, I will say, but they've had to send all 3 players downfield to be able to engage in it. It's looking a little bit shaky because once again, Getafe hold this midfield line.
Yeah, they can't exactly get to control Epsilon, but Bilbo is still roaming up front, still looking for those passes, and that was exactly the pass to him that started that attack. I think Epsilon's coming over there and trying to commit the whole team there is just the continuation of their plan for the attack. But Getafe's control in the midfield is definitely what currently strangling Epsilon in their own half. They are playing as fast, just because they don't have the control of midfield, don't have the boost control over there as well. So all they're resorting to is a couple of raids in the opponent's side, trying to get something. Sabadam on second demolition in a row, but still Epsilon can't find a goal. Sabadam though down the center. Oh, he was waiting for that shot. He got it.
He did indeed. Chiro though with that block, brilliant read, and Bilbo straight onto it. You got to think, if that didn't go to plan, Epsilon, oh, this would have been one quick goal for Getafe, but Epsilon, time and time again, they risk it and they get the reward.
Yeah, it's a very high risk, but then the reward is even greater. If Epsilon would have missed that, all Getafe players were already starting to move into the attack. So that could have easily been a Getafe goal, but Epsilon set themselves pretty well. All right, well, now that they've sort of shaken off that control of Getafe in midfield, things have reset just a little bit, and for Epsilon, it's their time to take control of the midfield, and with that, take control of the final third of their opponents.
Bilbo, that was a threatening hit, but Mr. Oob kept cool as a cucumber there, seeing no threat on there. Still no real threat. It's scary, don't get me wrong, but Getafe, they're looking at the trajectory of the ball there, Jam. They're going, right, it's off target. Don't worry, lads. Just keep your heads cool, calm, collected. And we've just got to turn this into a counter now.
Still, I wasn't feeling that confident about what just did there. A triple commit into a miss, only made better by the fact that Epsilon also missed, and then the follow-ups were just too straight to the wall, where the bounces weren't favorable for them one single bit. Getafe, both teams really, and there's another one. Both teams are really capable of tracking the ball down, so the challenge is always coming strong. But how can you challenge when the Mr. Rubis slams you down with his fist and says, I have come here, bam, we're now playing by my rules. He really got Sabadam out of all people. Sabadam got a delete.
I was looking in that, and actually Getafe had set up a very nice play. I mean, the third man, a little bit late to the ball, but I'm okay with that. It worked in the end. But Jam, if you didn't notice, they were starting to work on stealing the boost. So Getafe, that wasn't their original plan for a goal, but they saw the opportunity and they struck. So I'm liking that from Getafe. They can adapt to their opponents and the situation that's currently going on. 1 minute left, 1 goal apiece, 1 game apiece as well in this best of 5. And well, Sabadam, like that, he's going to make it 2-1 in Epsilon's favor.
I don't think this was an initial plan from Sabadam either. This completely blew my mind. I'm no Grand Champion, but the control that Sabadam just had over his car coming from an angle, I would never call that angle a goal-scoring angle. Sabadam just whips out his hat and a magic stick. Magic stick, jeez. And just conjures up a goal out of nowhere.
50 seconds now, and Getafe, they have to pull something out of the hat, essentially. You were talking about him putting it on, but they take it off, and, well, you have to reach in deep. That's a third goal for Epsilon from Bilbo. That pass from Chiro perfectly into the curvature of the ball.
Yes, that is, I mean, throwing a little target there and had been practiced hitting the ball there over and over, until he finally got so good at it that he could do this every single time. That's exactly what he did. Straight down at his teammate Bilbo as Epsilon. Again, the hat is theirs. In this game of Monopoly, the hat is Epsilon, so Getafe are now playing as a car, I suppose. What else is there? I can't exactly remember what else is there besides the car and a hat, but there's a goal by Nachitao, as Epsilon can't exactly get a quick clear. As seemingly a lot of players are all committed on the top, and Chiro is bumped out of the field, as Bilbo is forced to just jump in the way of the ball. Getafe claw one back, but those 20 seconds will be pretty nervous for both of them.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a magic trick, that one, Jam. Let's see. The real magic trick, real magical miracle would be getting a third goal here. Tafe with 10 seconds left. The countdown begun on our screens. Screens. Halloween was 2 months ago, and I'm still in that mindset, it seems.
I scream, you scream, we scream for another goal. 0 seconds. The timer has run out. But the rule number 1 is being observed, definitely observed by Getafe, but that bounce off the wall puts down any of the chances for them to get an equalizer. It is 1 in a million chance this would be happening, and Epsilon has fought on through and got themselves a win. But by God, this was a second shaky win by them. Getafe are not letting go. They're clinging to the foot of Epsilon, saying, we won't let go. We won't possibly let you go. No easy wins here.
Yep, no easy wins at all, but you got to think Epsilon on match point. As I said before, Getafe already beaten out Nordavind. It's Epsilon here that have to take down Getafe, because a win here would mean, in my eyes, Jam, I think that is the solid spot for Epsilon earned into next week. Don't quote me on that, chat, because I don't know if it comes down to the head-to-head or the goal difference, which comes first. But for either way, it's looking good. I'm still banking on that game 5.
Yes, it is. It is still a possibility. I'm not discounting it myself. Between Epsilon and Getafe, it's so hard to pick a winner, just because both of them are seemingly even with quite similar mindsets when approaching the game as well. So as a result, well, actually, no, that low shot, but neither of them is running away, and Epsilon just can't. From game to game, it can definitely change, but so far, Getafe has been clinging to their opponents, and those 1-goal games previously were exactly showing that.
Indeed, Mr. Oob bouncing it off the wall, finds Mark by 8, but Sebadam holds it in the corner, standing his ground, but Mr. Oob is back with a vengeance as he gets that right down into the back line, snatched out offside. Mr. Oob going to the corner, but this Oob can just not get it to the net. For me, Jam, that there had to be a shot at net. Too scared to put the finishing blow on.
And unfortunately for Getafe, the control ball is fraying them so many times. They brought the ball with them to that final opportunity, get a shot or something, and then the ball just dropped straight off their car. They lost it, the momentum was gone, and as a result, they brought the ball to Epsilon and then dropped it there, unwillingly. Nobody made them, just that Getafe's really technical approach is really betraying them a lot in the attack, and everything is just completely for naught when they're bringing the ball to the other side.
Okay. Be able to get that past Tyrion. Severdam tries to get it out, but Oob once again onto it. He's got Nachtel underneath. They tried to go for a little bit of a fake, but that ball didn't get pushed out as far as they expected. Tyrion with a pop there. That's risky. Right in front of your opponents doing a very weak pop like that, Jam. I don't know what was going through Tyrion's mind in that moment.
Panic, most likely panic. Get the ball as far away as possible, but you can even get it far away. You just get it somewhere. And Getafe, I would really like to see a couple of short rotations from them, because that is just one player brings the ball in. Oh, we didn't get the best possible result out of our attack. All retreat. All retreat. The gun has been sung. No, just put a couple of players up front. Get a little bit of a risk, because your opponents, if they win this, bam, it's done. Again, take the risk. Just like Team Echo Zulu needed to take risks, now it's time for Getafe to do the same.
Yeah, it's generally, we see this from Epsilon, and the player taking that risk is normally Bilbo. You know, it's like I was saying earlier. Ooh. Okay, they didn't have to take the risk in one. This was just good, hard pressure plays that finally worked out. Mr. Oob getting that perfectly into midfield, and Sebdam couldn't read it quick enough to get the hit away. 1-0 in Getafe's favor.
Mr. Ube is staying in the attack, and then Nachito, this time reading the ball. Oh, there's another opportunity. Ube, but he bumped. He didn't go for the ball. That, I think, it was an opportunity to at least make a threatening attempt at a shot. Well, whatever was going through Getave's mind in that situation, no one know, but they seemingly are still trying to keep the control as the defense of the Epsilon is in retreat and getting back home only by the skin of their teeth.
Nachitow slowing that ball down, but unfortunately not second player to come in the system, so Bilbo picks it up. Good hit by Mark Bay, does send it high into the sky, and good defense by Mark once again to send it wide. You can see he's looking for this space, trying to buy himself a bit of time, buy his teammates some time to get boost. You can see Mark Bay as well downfield, ready for a clearance, try and get a cherry pick moment, but the defense from Epsilon here, Jam, is just closing everything out. They don't necessarily have good attacks going Epsilon at the moment, but they are stopping.
You were saying?
I was looking like, where did they go? Sebadam there, I don't know why he just went straight past instead of going for the bump on the player to ruin it, but oof.
Well, that was a second oof for Getafe. As Epsilon, you said, solid in defense, but can't exactly do much in the attack. Right now, they would really wish to set up something in the attack. All those brilliant plays of shots, untakeable and undefendable shots by Epsilon has suddenly disappeared. Epsilon now themselves are not getting any chances up front, even for a threat. And as a result, slowly it might be devolving into a solo play. Oh, Bilbo, what has he done? I want to see a replay of that. That was savage, just like Mark Wade said. Also, most likely, absolutely calculated. It's either intent or it's the luckiest shot that Bilbo ever made it.
I don't think he's going to be complaining at all. Nor will the rest of his side. One goal separating these two now. Epsilon, for I think the first time in a while, are playing catch-up, Jam. Just got to actually make it work. Bilbo with the shot. That one's not lucky. That.
So many calculators on the field. Folks, you need to be a math major to play this game well. And Bilbo is just putting himself in great positions. That is practice those shots in the practice packs. A shot from the flank like that. Open, almost open net. There's only a little bit of extra added difficulty of Getafe defenders being there, but even they couldn't jump for it quickly enough. All right, it's a tied game, and Getafe and Epsilon they're inseparable. They are BFFs or God knows what else. They just don't want to leave each other, and so at this point, it's starting getting a little bit of a clingy territory. Both.
Yeah, I wouldn't say BFFs. I'd say, you know, this relationship is a little bit complicated. You know? They can't get rid of each other here, and they definitely don't like each other as they want to demolish the other. They are standing in their way, of course. Chiro putting the pressure on with the hip, and Mr. Oob gets it away. 7-out. That's a risky pop. Like we said, though, you got to take the risk to get the reward, especially when a goal for Epsilon now would mean victory. Demo's coming out, and Nachitow just removing the threat from in front of him. Good little 50-50. Nachitow will chase onto it. He's got an option. He's got the play. He's got the teammate, but it's Epsilon that got the block, and I'm feeling like they just want to leave this for the ground now. Yep, Mr. Oob does exactly that. And game 4 overtime. Epsilon still on match point.
Let's get another one going as Getafe and Epsilon, by those finishing seconds, was very nervous for both of the teams. Getafe can bring it through. Oh my, don't, you can't.
Tell the bait, that is risky.
That is too risky for my taste, Vegan. This is not the risk I think they needed to be taking. And open nets like that, also not the thing they should be doing. Epsilon in defense, but at the same time, also precariously leaving their goal open for the opportunities from Getafe.
Nachitow gonna be able to get that past Sebadam. Mark Bay take the ball away, and Bilbo unfortunately reads that wrong. Mr. Oob tries to dribble it out. Is this lack of boost right now, Jam? It scares me. Look, Mr. Oob put the threat on, trying to force his opponents to come into it, but it's risky moves, and both these two teams, they're trying to force the hand of each other, but no one's biting.
It's a good plan, but if nobody is biting, then this will be a stalemate. for ages, it seemingly. And Getafe currently, I think, are getting a little bit more antsy than opposition. That double commit really wouldn't give them pretty much anything. Best chance, a strong shot on target with a pinch in between them. Worst case scenario, they're just committed 2 players and Epsilon are starting their own attack. Right now, assuming they're already looking for yet another one on the top of that. Getafe trying with the lobs, trying to just dump the ball into the other side, while as Epsilon seemingly trying to stick to the ball just a little bit longer. Although, at some point, Epsilon want to dump the ball as well, just to get a bit of a breather, reset themselves, and get the boost for their further actions.
Into the corner the ball goes. 2 minutes of overtime already played out here in game number 4. Bilbo wanting to end that, but Mark8 says no. Across the net. Once again, Getafe. I don't know how they just hold their nerve on the line like that, or why they do it, Jam. For me, I would not want it at all to be lingering in front of them.
I'm not sure if they actually want it. Seemingly, they are forced to play like that, or they might load the risk, but I wouldn't like to play that either. Right now, Epsilon are not exactly punishing them for that. And again, no players up front. Epsilon themselves know that they can't possibly just go overboard, since Getafe are always there to start an attack of their own. And one player missing from defense might make all the difference on both sides of the field.
All up high. Sebadam looking for Cheerio. Ooh, then he came back in. Triple commit onto that. Markbay happened to send this downfield, but Sebadam rotates back in time. Lifeline bought. 3 minutes now into this overtime. This is one that is not going to be ending anytime soon, it feels.
Yeah, it's either the game 5 for Getafe if they win this. And both teams, it is a coin toss from both of them. This is a matter of one mistake, one over-eager commitment to the attack, one tiny mistake, mispositioning, not being able to get a clear of a cross that your opponent sets up. And bam, it's either Getafe into game number 5, and then we'll get what we wanted, both of us, Bacon, or it's Epsilon walking away with a win and a pretty much determined number 1 spot in their group.
Good find by Markbay. Over to Mr. Oob. Natched out off the backboard. Hello. No one there due to lack of boost. Hit from Bilbo going wide. Cheerio follows up, and he follows up well, but unfortunately, Crossbar denies it all. Will not allow that one through. Epsilon will have to try once again, and they are. Markbay gets it past Bilbo. Gonna let that one bounce, and Markbay thinks better of it, allows his opponents to come in, try and force the hits, try and force an opening. Again, really risky, but neither of these teams being able to find the net for one, or really trying to find the answer for the second, because once again, Jam, they're not biting. They're allowing their opponents to pull out these fakes, but oh no, no.
It is one simple, tiny mistake. Markbay playing way too close to his teammates, and Najitao's spells trouble, not just trouble, the end of times for Getafe. Nope, they are not out of this just yet, but their luck in the rest of the bracket of the group teeters on the next game, Northern versus Epsilon. And while Getafe let this one, they really wish they haven't. Getafe, this was their chance to cement that number 1 spot, or at least get a bye into the next round. Right now, they will be really watching the next match with all intent, because something their opponents in round number 7 most likely will not pose much threat to them. Their biggest threat they've already played against, and Epsilon got the best of them. Northern, they defeated in the previous round. So now, the only wish there was a game number 5 and yet another chance was given to them. But Epsilon, when the chance came, when they saw the opportunity, they got it.
So Epsilon take down Getafe, meaning that in the next game here, Northern have to really take down Epsilon to keep this three-way battle alive. I'm looking at him. The tiebreakers, I finally, got one of the mods to go into the back end and work out what it was. So, Jam, it's total sets won. So, total number of matches won. Then it's game win percentage. So your differential. And then it's the head-to-head. So it's coming down to those games. So the head-to-head is sort of like the last one. So, of course, if you're Epsilon taking down Getafe here, you're going to be happy, of course. But if we quickly pull up smash.gg right now, I'm going to quickly refresh the page and get this sorted on out. I'm going to quickly put in the results for Getafe Epsilon as well and make it so Epsilon 3-1 it was, wasn't it, against Getafe there in the overtime. So let's quickly update that. Here you go. You've got live modding on stream now, guys. Hey, a little bit of the behind the curtain look, Adrian.
Play-by-play modding. Wow. Ooh. And now we're entering the scores. The scores have been entered, and we just determined the winner.
Well, we know Epsilon are for sure through. That's what we know. But whether it's first or second seed is still decided. Epsilon are currently looking on a win percentage of 78.95, which is nutty. Getafe are currently second with 13 wins, 7 losses with the games. Match wins being 5, 1 loss for them. And Nordavind are currently on 13 wins, 8 losses. So they just lost 1 extra game over Getafe. So basically, the games again, because Getafe have something. That's the team they're going up against. Quickly looking, and something seemed to have DQ'd out of today. So just saying it now, Jam, that's going to be 3-0 to Getafe. Nordavind, I don't think they can do it. No.
Maybe. This has devolved into a series of sounds.
I'm looking here now, and I'm trying to work out all the numbers. Unless Nordavind get... Who are Epsilon going up against? So Nordavind. So unless Nordavind 3-0, they have to 3-0 Epsilon to get through. Blimey.
That's a mountain. A mountain that you need to climb. That's a Goliath that David of Nordavind needs to defeat. But as long as that possibility is alive, Bacon, I believe.
Wow. That is interesting. So, guys, we're going to be going on over to the break. We're going to get that next match set up. And we will be back with Nordavind versus Epsilon Esports after this. Welcome back, ladies and we are on into the third game of the night, the very last series. And we're just going to, you know what, Jam? We're going to quickly break down, 1 minute breakdown of this match, and then we will get started. Nordavind versus Epsilon, like we said, this is the match to decide a spot on into next week. And these are two really, really highly skilled teams. It's a shame that we have to lose one.
Yeah, for them, it'll be a fight for death. Nordavind, unfortunately, already dropped the game to their direct opponents, Getafe. And Getafe just barely, just by 1 point, by one extra game, or by one extra not lost game, they're currently sitting higher than Nordavind. For Nordavind, you said it, a 3-0 win. The only thing that gets him through to the next week.
Yeah, it is so on the line for Nordavind. But of course, those points still all matter. I just said go so that the players can get on into the pitch. We don't want to hold them around any longer. Let's do this. Epsilon seemingly having a little problem here with Bilbo, who's now just chilled. Maybe is looking away, having a little sip of water, because this is going to be a long best of 5, I feel like, Jam.
Both of them were so eager to get in this one, asking, what's the holdup? What's the holdup? We want to play. And then, of course, Bilbo decided to, hey, let's do a little bit of a hobbit. Oh, no hobbiting around here at the start to get themselves off the kickoff. Ball stolen from Bilbo himself, and that was a strong steel slash pass. Churia was born ready for that.
Well, that was a hippity-hoppity get off my property from Epsilon, as they want to make the top 2 spot theirs. They want to go through next week, and they do not care about Nordavind at all. It is all about them. You've got to have that little bit of selfishness in competitive esports, of course, Jam, because you have to win. You can already see a lot of pushing downfield from Nordavind. So close to some data. That was a nutty opportunity.
They're trying to push it through, but Nordavind, we haven't seen them today just yet. Their playstyle definitely high up there. And the other team, they have been playing together for a really long time. But Epsilon's also a cohesion as a team needs to be met and beaten. Nordavind, well, it's one big task for them in those 5 games. Still in best of 5 format. Epsilon put themselves in a good position, but only 1 minute has passed. Nordavind are not giving up, so.
Sebadam up in the air, going to drop that down, putting the pressure on the net. Bilbo. Need that for Cheerio to come on in the midfield line. We'll say well held by Epsilon, but you can see they're ready every now and then just to slow things down to allow that third man in rotation to catch up. They're really playing the control game tonight, Epsilon, and it is crazy good for them.
It has been working out for them well in their previous matchup with Getafe. And right here, making sure that they do not lose anyone along the way, do not hastily move themselves in the attack when they immediately lose the ball because there are no enough players up front, nobody to pass to. This allows them to really be completely prepared when it comes to getting the ball into them.
Yeah, we're just looking at all the tiebreakers. Unix in chat. You can ask him, he's doing all the workings, he's doing all the calculations. He's got pen and paper out in front of him trying to work out, and he can definitely confirm for you who it is that will be going through depending on what situation. But for these players, Jam, for me, it all comes down to the pride. Make sure that you win, because then you're the better team.
Well, yeah, not only that, and any sort of win, even those positions, do you get, even if you don't get through, there is a question of how many points will you walk away from for that final of Renegade Cup that will be played out in the February. And Epsilon currently are looking like one of the teams that will be making it on points. And if they actually get even further than that, first of all, gets them really high on that scoreboard. Second of all, still in contention for actually winning the whole tournament. Although with Savage in the books and still another day of those games being played, we have 2 more corporations with their teams trying to get into the final of this monthly as well. There will be many players and teams hungry to get those wins, to get those points. $5,000 are still online and prize pool money for this tournament alone.
Yeah, I'm thinking about tomorrow, and Scorpio Tech are in a 3-horse race situation just like Leo and Forces Jam, so that's going to be a tasty little treat tomorrow. But here tonight, this is the last match to be played in both sides. Everything else is locked down in Star Force Gemini, but here, over on the Leo and Forces, oh, it is a big, big trek for Nordavind. The 3-0 is needed. That loss against Getafe earlier will prove vital because the 3-1 will tie them up with Getafe. And well, then it goes to the head-to-head. And well, Getafe with the win. That is it decided. So the 3-0 needed from Nordavind. They're currently a goal down. They're holding out, not letting anything in, but they need to turn this around into attack. Godsmiller doing exactly that. The flyby from both going for a block. Gods putting it up high into the air, but Bilbo will get that pass out. Dente, Godsmiller, last man on defense, will hold this off, getting the block, and pushes it off to the side.
Not enough pace from Nordavind, and Epsilon are just only happy to play with that speed. They do not want any risks. They don't want to be playing fast themselves. They can do that. As a result, that opens many more chances for their opponents to sneak one through, or just sneak one like that. There was a defender in the end, El Dente, playing pretty deep, trying to safeguard his team for any opportunities like that by Epsilon. But as a result, Nordavind just couldn't find that second gear even. And Epsilon's solid defense easily dealt with any slow attempts by Nordavind as they were trying to set up, but in those 5 minutes, they could manage more shots than Epsilon, but the net was still eluding them, as this one ends with our lowest scoreline so far, 1-0.
It is. It's been a while since we've seen a 1-0 Jam, and Epsilon grinning ear to ear with it. So that's their spot secured. Let's just rush this on into game 2, dude. Let's ready up and let's see. We haven't seen enough of Nordavind this evening. They are a nuts team. That first game felt like it was a little bit of a slow start for them.
It is too slow, I would even say. First games are often like that, but by this point, you already have been playing a day full of games. We're in round number 7, our final set of games for today. Nordavind and Epsilon need to be both warmed up. And for Nordavind, well, this is it, unless we have miscalculated something. And do forgive us for trying to come up with caster math on the fly as these matches are happening. But Nordavind, and that is, after the line being just conceded, getting a goal like that where nobody's anywhere close to saving it, yep, you don't want to be going like that either.
No, that is a cracker of an opening goal there from Sebedam, really to put the hurt in once again after losing game number 1. Coming into game number 2, Nordavind going to be a bit disheartened by that, but they've got to just pick themselves up and look super strong. This is a team of very capable players. You can see they're already on the attack in front of net. Sebedam with a big clear out. 2 players going up for that as well, Cheerio and Bilbo, so this is the time for Nordavind to really strike, sink their teeth in, and this is some good blocking play coming out from Gods. He got a little bit cheeky there. He was trying to go for goal with that one, Jam.
I mean, can't blame him. Any old goal, even if it was real tricky, it's hard to get, but if you're getting an opportunity, go for it. Especially something really flashy would instill hope in your teammates, because right now Nordavind just not exactly working for them. Their season in RLRS unfortunately was absolutely cut short. They finished 5th, but they couldn't get through and stay in the league. While as their opponents, who knows, they might be aiming for the next season. And once again, the open qualification, I'm pretty sure, will be open, and 4 spots on RLRS for both of the regions will be open for all the teams to fight.
Sebedam, unfortunately, not going to be able to pick that one up. Ball pop towards the center. That's a big hit. Big demo as well onto Al Dente. That really reclaims the ground. Cheerio getting a demo onto Gods, trying to defuse this attack. A little bit of a whiff, but good follow through from Cheerio. Finally gets that ball away. Look at this dribble. He's going for it. He's going for it. He's gone for it. And he has got the goal.
Oh, Cheerio. How? I wouldn't even say, because really the idea would be, hey, you got the ball, you finally got the open goal. Go for it. No, he decided to do a little bit of a detour, but gets the perfect control of the ball and brings the ball straight down the middle. Data with a chance off the kickoff, and there's a follow-up as El Dente tried to caress it way too much. Tried to put it cheekily somewhere where Epsilon would not guess he will be putting it, where as a result, seemingly he shot himself in the foot, and Nordavind with a perfect chance. You go away from the orange side with no goals, while Epsilon is laughing all the way to the bank with the 2 that they have.
Both these two teams played over 20 games of Rocket League in the second stage so far, not even counting the drafts, Jam. And this is just becoming mundane for them. They use this high intensity of Rocket League, what their competitive history. And here, Cheerios used hammer hits.
Unfortunately for Nordavind, their defense once again has been slightly sleeping. A challenge on the spot sets up Cheerio perfectly, and as a result, Epsilon are in the right positions. They are ready both to attack and defend. Nordavind, the only thing this is getting embarrassing, Bacon. By this point, we're halfway through the game, and when the kickoff goal goes so quickly, and after, Data tried to play it slow, but that was Cheerios flying in their face. Cheerio has been popping off in this game number 2. This is no longer a snooze fest of a 1-0 we had in game number 1. This, unfortunately, is Epsilon taking the reins of the game. And I was hoping to keep the dream alive in my heart for as long as dream was possible. Seemingly for Nordavind, the dream has completely done.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Just like in the Gfinity Elite Series, Epsilon has Nordavind's number. They know how to beat him out. It's just a difference in playstyle. And they're getting cocky with it. You can see Cheerio is absolutely loving his time on this pitch. I mean, he's pulled off a hat-trick so far, and he's looking for more.
I wouldn't blame him. In this situation, Epsilon are pretty much untouchable. And when goals just like that are dropping in with Nordavind, having all players in and around the net, 2 on the line, I think, for that one, are unable to make a save. Yes, they were all cut up. Just Data actually might have collided with Godsmiller coming in. But Epsilon, they go in the attack. It almost seems like the goals are falling into their lap. But no, it's just Epsilon playing as solid as ever, and obviously they will be pretty happy with the goals just coming one after the other. Only they can barely keep up with the kickoff by this point. Well, as for Nordavind, everything is falling apart. And by this point, the best thing they can do is just save face.
That is it. Try and hope for a reverse sweep, and just basically the feel-good times near enough redeem themselves. This is all down to the wire for them, because it's all about that caliber. They've got the orc behind them, and they want to show it off each time. I've just had a little message as well from Mod saying that Godsmiller had changed his controller on Monday, and so he's struggling with that, and that's his excuse.
Of course, really, this is game number 2, and we're already bringing out excuses. So very unprofessional. How about a couple of goals? Godsmiller gets a shot. El Dente with a follow-up. Nordavind puts on the board a place at 1B.
Good play.
It was a great play, bringing the ball so quickly into the attack. Epsilon, they were really relaxed for the majority of this game. They weren't for Nordavind all of a sudden getting a shot of coffee straight to the heart and getting that one from one end of the field to the other. More of that, please.
Yeah, definitely. Bilbo. Throwing that down to the corner. Well blocked by Gods. Big clearance downfield by Cheerio, but once again, down to middle, so it's easily picked up. You see, they're struggling to get out. Nordavind are playing so much better now, but Jam, I'm thinking it's too little too late for them, you know?
Well, mathematically, absolutely. But if suddenly a switch has been thrown in their heads from really focus to let's have some fun with it, and that immediately drops such a big weight off your shoulders, then Nordavind just off of that plus their quality as a team. I mean, they have been playing in RLRS, they have been playing in Gfinity. Obviously, they will be they're a quality team. So they have just in them, as long as their mentality will go with it. And if they just switch to let's have some fun, and immediately whatever they did, it immediately worked, keeping Epsilon in their own half. Damn, just stick with that. Take that. Don't lose it on the way to the next game, and damn, Epsilon might as well fall in a reverse sweep. Will be a silly affair, but it is still a possibility as long as there's 5 minutes on the clock and there's still games in the best of. Nordavind can still pull it out.
Yeah, they can definitely, because you got to think, okay, we're seeing a difference in mindsets in this game. So going into it, this was very high pressure for Nordavind, like maximum pressure, and unfortunately, they couldn't deal with it. That's how it is. Or Epsilon was just better on the day. Whatever you want to go with. Now, these two teams can relax. There's no stress in them. It is all over. So let's see when things are on even grounds. Because remember, before this, Epsilon were confirmed through. Getafe were waiting on this result. But Epsilon, even with, you know, that mindset difference, they are looking very strong here. But I don't know. Let's just see how Nordavind do, because this is a team that still has so much potential behind them, and they've proven time and time before that they are a top-tier team, and they can put on some great plays like that.
One performance that we have been waiting for them to make pretty soon. Data finds himself a Godsmilla, who already has been going down that mid line, while Epsilon getting caught in the rotations with only one goalie to boot Bilbo. He did all he could with a flip, but that was too fast of a shot, too good of a setup from Nordavind. So from that point on, they can start building it up. Passes are clicking from Nordavind, while as Epsilon in their series against Getafe, even sometimes it wasn't exactly working out for them. They were defensive, but not always being able to transform that into the attack here. Seeing that even their defense are showing just a bit of cracking here and there.
Ball down into the corner as Godsmilla wants to put that towards center. Blimey. No one jumping on that, no one punishing that. Okay. We'll have to see how that plays out for the rest. It seems like a lot of long plays are coming onto this pitch. Sebadam blocked on out. Data sends it off to Gods, who puts it into the corner. Wants to get a second touch, gets the third as well, and Sebadam will clear this down. Again, these real long plays. It is only Godsmilla who's changing things up and actually trying to hit this off the walls really close to himself.
Now, and his plan of seemingly is working so much better than the rest of the players are trying to do. Bilbo, by the way, no longer seemingly roaming in the attack. I still feel like Bilbo, being that forward player, gave Epsilon options in the attack. Right now, he's not disrupting the play, he's not stalling the time for his team, and Epsilon, I think, just losing that slight edge that they could have had against Nordavind.
Al Dente looking for the pinch. Well done by Bilbo to get that way as he just hammers that off to the sidewall and then gets a very nice bump into Sebadam. Sebadam going for an aerial dribble. This was a beautiful little set piece from Epsilon, but did not earn them a goal, Jam, and that's what really matters here. Bilbo dropping that down. This is a dangerous ball towards net. Sebadam making it look not dangerous at all. A walk in the park. He was just strolling on through, hit the ball, and off he goes. Godsmilla with the block. We'll send this towards net, but Cheerio is there. And well, he's cheery about it.
Yeah, that double jump. Basically, Bilbo was surrounded. The best thing he could do, just pop it up. But already he had all the players in Nordavind. Two of them on his head and stealing that as quickly as possible. They want the second goal. Epsilon are looking for their first, and right now just nothing is being found. Even that. Ooh, interesting. Why? Yeah, I think he lost the thread of that.
But it was a good recovery. Look,
yes,
throw it into
control of the car, fantastic, and that demolition. That demolition. He might be cheerful sometimes, but sometimes he's like that clown from It. So very, very evil.
Pennywise, I think that one. Yeah. I don't know if he'd be so happy you calling him Pennywise the Clown, Jam, but we'll allow. I can't remember. Does Cheerio have the party time explosion? Because if he did, all those balloons It would be a very fitting analogy.
All right, well, we'll be watching. We'll be watching specifically for goals from Cheerio or little demolitions. Really, for I'll leave my pitch to Psyonix for later. Here, though, Bilbo, his unfortunate touch on the ball means that Nordavind already roaming's trying to start or block their get himself a perfect opportunity to put this on target. Godsmill is so far making all the change for Nordavind. Only he's getting shots on target. He's also getting the goals. There's such a low-scoring game. Back from the previous 5-1 that Epsilon pulled off on Nordavind. This is a welcome change for the blue side. They will be going with this one into the game number 4, although I'm really counting my chickens way before they hatch.
Might just be, buddy. The bouncer. Al Dente gets it off to the side. Bilbo climbs on up, puts it off to the wall. Lining up Sevedan. Very awkward hit into the wall, but they are just pushing this into the corner now. Epsilon looking to get that midfield line, basically be able to pressure their opponents once again. But Nordavind, they've got the answer now, Jam. It's definitely feeling like they're able to hold everything off. Again, a little too late, we know, but it is showing the caliber of these two teams, and for future matches between them, it's awesome to see.
Seemingly Nordavind has adapted pretty well. Their position really cuts off Epsilon's passes, but it's also seemingly that it's Epsilon not really being inventive with their passing plays. They're slow, they're unpredictable lines. Throw a little bit of a spice into that play. Do not just put it in the boring way where you always put it. Nordavind are already smarter than that. At least bring it in through the air. That's also a possibility. Just a little bit of a delivery with airmail. Bilbo can set it up for Sabadam. Oh, yes, he can, but it was a little bit far too cut. And that's English completely in the wrong order, but that was a perfect opportunity for Epsilon. It falls down to a vacant 0 seconds. Do they have enough boost to start anything? Al Dente keeping it alive. I would prefer for him to kill it. Gives too many opportunities for Epsilon.
Yep, too many opportunities, but GG's once again thrown out in the in-game chat. So that's now 2-1 in Epsilon's favor. Nordavind, they can still pull off the reverse sweep here, Jam, and I always like to see those.
More please, I'd say. Although, again, for Nordavind, it is just a matter of honor and just showing that, yes, despite everything in our face, we can still get a win. We're not disheartened by the fact that maybe we won't get through to the next stage when we put a great performance and we want to stick on just one last thorn into the side of our opponent's Epsilon.
Yep, definitely. So let's ready on up and get into game number 4, my dude, because this is still very much alive. Nordavind are evolving, adapting, learning from this. And that is always going to be the case, I think, for Nordavind at the moment. It's them readjusting to this style. I've always questioned Data in this roster as they needed a bit more of a goal scorer, but they are mixing things up and going for a very solid defensive playstyle, which is cool. On the opposite end, Epsilon are using this again for training for them. This is like almost scrimming that we're seeing between these two teams, because Epsilon is building up that consistency, which if they can get correct, they could be such a killer team. But 20 seconds already gone by, Jam. We're already seeing a lot of pressure being put on by Epsilon off the kickoff, but Nordavind handling it very well to get this counter down field.
Especially when Epsilon misses 2 out of 3 times. Gives so much time for Nordavind to actually just recharge everything and get themselves set in the position where they will block it. Game has started pretty fast, and I think it's continuing at the same pace, but the mistakes are rife. Seemingly by this point, we had some careful games. You mentioned the defense on both sides, and really it's not just Nordavind, it's Epsilon as well. But now seemingly the brakes have been cut, and both teams are playing just a little bit mad. But it makes for a slightly more exciting gameplay. Just throw away all the playbooks. Play like your heart commands you to. We might see some really great events.
Nice from both sides of the pitch. Good block there coming out from Bilbo. Sebadan getting a good one as well. And look at this charge now. Brilliant hit from Data. A great block from Data. These players are going for solo plays here, Jam, and they are making it look so good. The problem is the defense has always got an answer to the attack. Let's see if he'll bring true again, as Bilbo unfortunately letting that drop down. Cheerio gets the bump onto Al Dente. Unfortunately, that play, which it was a topsy-turvy one, don't get me wrong, it just did not have a full stop at the end of it, no period.
I think they just one run on sentence for the team as play's not stopping. And even as Nordavind got themselves a little bit of a dash with that pass, as Epsilon really tied themselves up in the attack, it still didn't work out. And Epsilon are starting an attack of their own. Again, non-stop, bringing the ball through. I'm not a fan of maybe going full-on solo plays, because to break the defense of those two defense-oriented teams, you need the full squad. You can't always rely on just Sabadam doing his magic. No, you need a little bit more. Al Dente, though, making everyone clutch their hearts.
Oh, this play. Jam, sorry. Al Dente doing well to put up to the side, but Bilbo read it so darn well. Eyed this up with Cheerio. Together, they found the key to getting that first goal, and that was a team play and a half.
Oh, well, finally team play works out for them. Epsilon making sure that Nordavind is out of defense. They are basically whittled out, smoked out of their own net. And as a result, Epsilon's follow-ups are working out for them. But you can see Nordavind immediately throwing themselves straight into the fire, blocking Epsilon's attempt. As Cheerio is trying again for something more inventive, just leave the ball, put it off the wall, see what works. And if it doesn't work, come back later, a couple of 10 seconds later, and get yourself another.
Double commit up into defense. It won't hurt them too much though. Great clear downfield. Bilbo gets the 50-50, but that was all planned by Nordavind. Sabadam, I don't know why Al Dente pushed so far there with Sabadam clearly looking to pop out up and over. Jam, we're just sort of seeing these two teams relax into just very comfortable 50-50 plays, get the ball away, cleared, and then maybe chase up if they can, if they've got the boost, if they're just naturally rotating downfield. It's a very comfortable play style for these two teams where they're not excessively pushing each other, not being creative, but they are playing by the book.
Yeah, well, that book seemingly is pretty well read by both sides, so as a result, it's a little bit of stalemate.
Dog is everything, you know, there's a couple of post-it notes pointing out different chapters, and there's not many goals scored in this game, not many of those in the chapters, but 2 I've counted so far.
Yeah, well, it's a good setup from Nordavind, just getting their solid, someone waiting and getting a chance, as Epsilon are still throwing their bodies around, trying to recuperate from those initial saves. Now simulates Nordavind, who has worked their opponent's Epsilon down to the bone, where the defenders weren't exactly ready, especially for a shot of that magnitude by Godsmilla. But then, seemingly by the book, it means that as one team has scored, the other one immediately takes control, tries to bring the ball back to the other side. Al Dente, though, might have different ideas. Bilbo has to go completely acrobatic, but now back in the attack. If he's gonna score it, oh no, he's just gonna not even demolish it. Oh, the chance gone begging. Because for Bilbo, that would be the best thing he has done to date.
Yeah, he said he went acrobatic. The problem is he was not rocket powered, no boost behind it, and that meant no demo to come out. And well, with no defense comes a goal.
With no defense comes no responsibility. Al Dente, though, he saw that pass happening. He saw it in his dreams, and he knew that right at this point he needed to challenge it. The tiniest of the touches that he got on that sent it straight down to the Epsilon's net, were positioned in the attack to receive a pass, and not in the defense to clear out that one wonderful tight ball net.
So, looking like Nordavind are going to be taking game number 4 and game number 5. The reverse sweep is on. Jam, like, we lose one great comeback, but we get another. Oh, nearly an equalizer there. But game number 5 is afoot. And, I mean, Nordavind, yeah, they may not be going through to next week, but getting a win here against Epsilon, that's redemption. That is at least something to go away with and feel good about, I feel.
Yeah, and again, couldn't you let that shot in? No, for Bant. Just again, and those are not just opponents. Those people know each other. Those people have played together for a long, long time. And even here in the competitive fashion, although the competitive edge has been brought down just a little bit with the fact that Epsilon is already through, they're having fun. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Some of the teams, if you're not like really in the know, in the group of those players, you might just get yourselves in the cocoon and just completely feel horrible about the whole thing, losing and everything. You know, these guys right now are having fun. And I said it before, Nordament, the way they showed in game number, I do believe that was game number 1, or could have been, yeah, game number 2 actually, when they suddenly started playing much better because seemingly just said, all right, this is over for us, let's at least have some fun. And right now, seemingly all of them are having fun, and I think this, whoever comes out of this as a winner, I think everyone would have won and had a really good time.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been a good day of Rocket League. And so, let's just finish it off with an even better last game. Cheerio up on the wall, Al Dente reducing his options, but Bilbo's back in there, making sure at least that defense is there. He's done a good job of it, actually. He's bought so much time. He's bought, and I'm going to use it, oodles of time here, Jam. Just absolute so much. And it meant those demos coming out from Nordwind mean nothing.
It's tactical play, and we've seen how well Epsilon can kill the ball, and so made sure that whoever is playing against them just can't use those opportunities. Oh, and a crossbar, the 4th player for Epsilon, saving them in that occasion. But Epsilon seemingly need to also bring a little bit of attack in action. Their shot count has been a missile so far, and they are not being let out of their own half. Nordament now thinks, all right, well, we won 2 in a row. Let's add the 3rd one to the tally as we are feeling it right now. We have broken the Epsilon, not in a convincing fashion, a complete sweep. At least we know how to open those gates that are the Epsilon defense.
Now Dente wrapping that ball around the corner, and Chiro will be looking to do the same, but in a defensive manner. He pops it up for Sebadam. Sebadam, I thought he would have had it, but then suddenly my camera in the game, Jam, cut to Sebadam, and he had 0 boost. It's at those points you're just there looking at it going, oh, if only, man, if only 30 more boosts in the tank, and we could have seen Sebadam pull something absolutely ridiculous off.
You know, with Sabadam, I think he can pull something ridiculous out, even if he has 0 boost in his tank. Just that wasn't one of those moments. He is, after all, Sabadam. Sometimes he does the unthinkable, the incredible. Other times, actually, it's been a while since I've seen Sabadam on the downswing. It has been mostly really great success for Sabadam.
Yeah, since getting this Epsilon roster together, we're talking about it on RL Aftershock last night, Jam, and it was just a case of we're super impressed. Like, Cheerio's message about him being there, like, oh, that's it, I'm giving up, I'm retiring. You're like, no, this is you guys on the up. How can you just drop now? There's so much potential, especially since going into next week. Oh, we praise him for a second, and then suddenly, oh, Data pulling off the dirty alongside Godsmiller here. What a play.
Yeah, and just the fact that he read that, the fact that he didn't give up on his team, the fact that he had the immediate reaction to go straight to the center where the pass was located, beating even the Epsilon defenders who are really, in a way, much closer to the play. Bilbo, though, tries to pull it out. Oh, there's one demolition almost going the way of Godsmiller, the last defender coming in for the ball. Epsilon, it is a friendly fight. It is a little bit of a tussle here and there. Punches thrown, but still not hurting anyone. But you know what? I'm pretty sure Epsilon, despite all that, saying, oh, haha, well, just a friendly game, they still want this. And right now, with the timer ticking down, seemingly they're getting more and more competitive. And that edge is back for the final game of the series, the final game of the day. And Nordhaven, their 1-0 lead might not stand for long.
Cheerio picking the ball up, and Al Dente does get a good block and a brilliant follow through from Godsmiller. We'll be able to get this bumping around and, of course, buying that time. I always talk about buying time, don't I, Jam? But it is so important, especially with these two teams' playstyles. It is all them focusing on that defense and just basically making sure their rotations are solid. If something, like, if there's an opening, they're buying themselves enough time to close it on us. They're basically trying to reduce any risks, anything that can happen to them in attack. And they're both doing a solid job of it.
Yeah, and they have to play it like that because your positioning needs to be solid because you know that the opponent will be doing the same. And one little mishap means that 3 organized players are rushing down towards you, Nat. Like that, Nordevent are so well capable of bringing the ball straight from a defense into the offense. And
I don't know where Sebadan thought that was going.
Or guess. Well, it's a 50-50. He guessed wrong.
Yeah. It's what happens. 2 goals ahead now. Nordevent. Hello. Reverse sweep is looking pretty darn solid right now. It's almost been etched in stone. We've got the template out and everything. Cheerio could deny, but Al Dente says no. Sebadan popping it up into the air. Wants to get onto this, but Data will beat him. There's got a straight avenue down to the orange side of the pitch. Al Dente getting popped off by Data, and you do not hit your own teammate, lads. Even if it is in the dying seconds of the series, you still don't do that. Trust can be lost that way. Sebadan around the corner. This is going to be awkward. Good stuff there from Godsmiller to block it out. And well, that's it. Confirmed, Jam. Ball hits the ground. Nordevin pull off the reverse sweep. Something is earned today.
Yes, I can't possibly complain about the day of Rocket League of the Katsupar. Starting from Savage and Echo Zulu. Echo Zulu showing to Savage they can play on the same pace. Unfortunately, then it was all Savage show from then on. Then to the not the tiebreakers, but 3 matches of highest caliber as Getafe and Epsilon were playing together, and Getafe get himself, pardon me, Epsilon getting those chances, and then of course this game. It has been oh so very close, but in the end, only 2 teams can go through Bacon, and I wish more could go through because all of them pretty much deserved. Nordevent pulling off a win after nothing really mattered, and yet. Bam, here we are with reverse sweep. We didn't get a best of 7 reverse sweep, which is ultra rare, but a best of 5 reverse sweep is nothing to sneeze at. Nordevent played well, and the more we played in those series, the more we could see that they are just honing in on how Epsilon are playing, and by this point, it was just going all so sideways for their opponent. Epsilon, well played though. They will be going through together with Getafe Esports. That will be the representatives of the Leo
Enforcers. Yep, so that's going to be the Leo Enforcers. You're thinking there for a second. Over on the Star Force Gemini side, though, Jammy, is going to be Savage with the perfect 7-0, and AS Monaco joining them 6-1. So we have 4 of the 8 teams confirmed for next week. Guys, that is it for tonight, but make sure you come back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. GMT. If you're in Germany or France, you know, with your CETs, that is 7 p.m. in the evening, and we will be finishing off the Neon Dream Corporation clashes and finding out which 8 teams, the other 4 teams tomorrow anyway, are going to be making it through to next week's Confederation Cup. I've been Digital Bacon, joined in the booth here by Jar Jam, and of course our cameraman in the background pushing all the buttons is Tractor Manager. We shall see you tomorrow. Until then, a warm goodbye.